Okay, so we're going live over there. Tyler, Heiko, thank you for joining us. Oh man, Justin, thank you for joining. Bear with me for 1 second here. I am just trying to see if there's something I can do. Nope. Okay. So we're going to get right into it. The good thing is we needed the colors we already had on the palette for our next step. Trevor, thank you for joining us. We're just getting everything set up. Dream big, thank you for joining us. Jake, thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. So we are going to be continuing with Kaplan Yana. I did reach out to the customer and I asked if they were fine with how the cloak looked or if they wanted it a little bit lighter, and they said a little bit lighter. So we're just going to go in real quick. We're going to lighten that up. Good news is that shouldn't take too long. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move on over to our next step, which is going to be the cloak right here. The boss, thank you for joining us. Dream, thank you for liking and sharing the live. I appreciate that. We did go live over on YouTube as well, for those of you that are wondering. So the good news with us doing this is there's going to be very subtle changes to it. Dream, thank you for the likes. I appreciate that, buddy. You all could probably hear little man in the background. He's having a rough time the past couple of days sleeping. Even at daycare, he's been not wanting to go down like he normally would. Carnifer, thanks for joining. So we are getting filtered notices already. Reminder to keep everything PG-13. Make sure that there's no hateful comments or anything like that. Okay. And with that, we got the cape where we want it. Across all ends. And now what we're going to do is I want to move on over to this web page real quick. Hopefully it does not close out our live over there. Okay. This is Captain Yana from War Machine. This is a commission that one of my customers reached out to me and asked me to do for them. I'm not too familiar with War Machine. In fact, until they asked me to do it, I had never heard of the game before. BD, thank you for joining us. Carnifer, thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. Rob, thank you for joining us. And while we are waiting for that to dry, we're going to move on to that red again. So I need my vampire red out. That's the new bottle. I need the old bottle, which is right here. Nope, that's glistening blood. Dragon red. Vampire red. Susie Q, thank you for joining us. Okay. Should probably swap to a smaller brush, but it's okay. Norm, DJ, Eat Sleep Pain, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate that, Eat Sleep Paint. For those that have not been within the community for a while, or been in the community for a while, I should say, you will notice that several people do tend to frequent the live, so you'll see about the same 5, 6 people hopping in and out from time to time. I'm doing fairly okay. Nothing too much to really write home about, just working and trying to keep up with continuous backlog of miniatures. I'm hoping that by the beginning of next year, we could have a nice backlog that's not just, oh, I'm going to do this because I want to. I'm hoping we have a nice backlog of commissions by then. Which, for those of you that have not followed our channel before and aren't sure what we're talking about, we do offer commissions. This is one of them. Currently, the red is drying on it. Otherwise, I would show how it looks on the miniature itself. For those of you that have not been in the community before as well, from time to time you'll hear my son in the background playing. It's just how he is. He's a little kid. Kids are going to do that. If that's something that you can't really handle, then we might not be the right uh, community for you because it's going to happen. Mama Scarecrow, thank you for joining us. Speaking of which, there's my wife. It's ideal. I do wish that I had a larger backlog of commissions, mainly just so that I'm not painting myself into a bore. That's what was ending up happening with the Tyranid army. I was painting the same thing repetitively, and it got to me. I lost pretty much my entire drive to paint because of it. And I don't like having no drive. That's not something that I like ever saying. But here's where we're at so far. Nico, thank you for joining us. So let me check one thing here real quick. Okay, so that is red. Okay. So let me swap over to a smaller brush. I'm missing a brush. I do not know how that brush got over there, but okay. For those of you that are also new possum, thank you for joining us. What we do here is we just paint miniatures and we talk. That's pretty much it. From time to time, you might see a member of the community hop in and talk about their day. Usually, we have a question of the day. Yesterday's was, what is your favorite Scooby-Doo movie? The reason we had that question was because of the fact that I reintroduced my son. He watched it whenever he was really little, but he probably does not remember, to Scooby-Doo for the first time. And last night we watched Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost for the first time, and he loved it. Tonight we watched Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, which he also loved, which is good. Lewis Love, thank you for joining us. So bear with me for one more second. Just gotta check one thing out. Yep, same over there. Okay. What I'm doing is we had missed some red spots on the initial basing, or not basing, base coating. So I'm just going back over them, making sure that everything I hit is accurate. Gabriel Tater Guillermo, thank you for joining us. So that's what we have so far. Now, when it's all said and done, it'll be sitting on top of this. Tommy, Kent, Kevin, thank you for joining us. Vicky, thank you for joining us. Mama Scarecrow, thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. Bob, Bree, thank you for joining us. We're just doing some highlights onto our Captain Yana here. Skippy, thank you for joining us. JR501, Patricia, thank you for joining us. Lazarus, teammate, thank you for joining us. We're working on a commission currently. This is Captain Yana. As you all can hear in the background, Little Scarecrow is now in his monster phase, where he loves everything monster related. Rosebud, thank you for joining us. Jameo, thank you for joining us. So this is where we are at so far. Brenda, thank you for joining us. Once that gray on the bottom there dries, I can show you how we are putting it on. It's dry. There we go. So once everything is done there, this is how it will look. Biker for Life, thank you for joining us. I am not liking how this cloak is because there's a lot of different ridges. And then I go move to something else. And it's already been. As soon as I go to move to something else, I realize, oh, there's something else I have to put there. Noon Boss, thank you for joining us. Mama Scarecrow, if you are by Little Scarecrow, it is time for Little Scarecrow's bedtime. Justin J, thank you for joining us. Okay. Taku, Albert, Justin Bennington, thank you for joining us. Noombas, Erna, thank you for joining us. Nadia, thank you for joining. Robert Bennett, thank you for joining us. And for those wondering, that would be Little Man Falling Over. Chef, thank you for joining. Ad and her, thank you for joining. This is what we are looking like so far. Melissa, Isla, thank you for joining. John, Bernie, thank you for joining us. Nas, thank you for joining. Chef, thank you for joining us. So let me put this on there so we can get a good example. What I'm doing, Adden, if you're still on, is I'm going to be doing this maybe one shade darker right here, but this one up here, I'm going to leave that shade, and then same with that back of here. I might do one shade darker. But this is where we're looking at right now. For those that aren't sure why I'm directing this directly to Adden, Adden is actually the one who this is commissioned for. So we just have a few more bits of red to do. Like I said, we got a little bit to work on with different areas. And we're kind of doing an all-around approach with tackling it. Well, while one thing dries, we're going to go tackle another. While another thing dries, we're going to tackle a different area. And so far, that method has been working out. So far, so good. Ruby, thank you for joining us. I am glad you are liking the outcome, Adden, though, because that tells me that I am doing my job wonderfully. Okay, so now I need to go into the pure red. Next highlights. Edgar, Faha, Sabad, thank you for joining us. Stephanie Diaz, thank you for joining us. I do see somebody joined us over on YouTube. Thank you for joining us as well over there. My apologies for not checking earlier. Trying to get back into the habit of doing both streams. BD, thank you for joining us. We are nearing the end of this. Dream Big, thank you for joining. Snake River, thank you for joining. Once we finish this red up, we are going to call it a night. Alexa, thank you for joining us. You know what? Once we finish this red, we're going to do one final thing and then we'll call it a night. Jeremiah, thank you for joining us. Mama Scarecrow, thank you for joining back. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. Okay, let's get that final red highlight in there. If you all can hear the TV in the background, that's actually my son's room. It seems like he's watching Toy Story. Because I can hear You Have a Friend in Me playing in the background. Cubanita, thank you for joining us. Okay. Let me grab the finishing touch that we're going to add for tonight. Let's get that on the palette. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this angel green, the same green that we used on the cloth of the bear. The reason we're taking that is because there's an area here that the customer has asked us to decide what color it would be for the outside of the cloak. And we chose to use that same green. We thought it'd be a nice nod to the bear. And it gives a nice touch to the model as well. So now that all the red is done, we could pretty much glue that now and call it a day. However, I want to do a few more things with the miniature itself before I glue it on. But this is what we got. See, that's what I'm talking about. It gives a nice little subtle hint right there. That shows with the bear. And then down here, this fur, that's going to be white like the main picture. Same with the one up here. Well, the one up here might actually be brown. But all we have left to do is the gold and brass highlights, a couple silver bits, and paint the tongue and the teeth. Which the teeth we could actually do right now. Yeah, let's finish that face. I'm going to fix this eye. While I'm at it. Turn to dust. Thank you for joining us. We were actually just about to end the live tonight. But what we did was we fixed the eyes to where they don't look so bug-eyed. Now we're going to work on that tongue, which I need this. Yeah. So I need to take a dot of this, trying to get a space that's not soaking wet to where it would make a wash. That's not what we want. We don't want it to be a wash. We just want it to be thin down enough to be a realistic tongue. Eyes are difficult. That is something that will never change in miniature painting. There's ways around it, such as the paint black and then paint white wherever you want, but then you got that cat eye. And on a human face, a cat eye just does not work. Now we're going to do the teeth. The teeth are going to be the easier part on this. The issue is with miniatures like this, it is hard to find the teeth themselves. There we go. And with that, we're going to call it a night. I do appreciate everyone that did join. Commissions are open. If you are interested, we just got to finish this one up and then give it back to the owner. That's all for now. Thank you for joining. We actually are just ending the live now. I'm doing good. I'll show you what we were working on since we are ending the live. This is what we have been doing the past few lives. All we have left to do is the brass pieces on the back here, the brass and gold pieces on the front, and the axe, the claws right here, and the pelts. Once we have that done, we're going to be calling it a day. Oh, it's been a long process, but it's been a fun one. Yeah, that's all I try to do on something that tiny. If it's very obvious, I can do it. Like, where's one at? Where's my termagant? Like, for instance, the termagants are very obvious, but then again, their head is double the size. Because, like, their head is a fraction of the size of the bear's. But with that being said and done, we are going to call it a night here. Hopefully tomorrow, if we get a chance to go live, we will have this finished and ready to go out to the customer. With that being said and done, thank you for joining live. Do not forget to check out our Patreon, our YouTube, our Etsy, our Fiverr, our Facebook, and our Instagram. I hope everybody has a great day and have a good one. Bye-bye.